we welcome Faraj.
Good evening, everybody. Tamara was on fire. But I would like to first thank YY and the organizing committee for putting together this wonderful dinner. Let's give them all a hand. Because it's not easy to bring two bitter rivals together in one room. When YY invited me to toast Oxford, at first I thought I should correct her and tell her I'm from Cambridge. Why on earth would I want to toast Oxford? Then it dawned on me, times have changed. This is Malaysia Baru. Tun Mahathir and Hak Lim Kit Siang. And if the old man genuinely intends to hand over power to Anwar Ibrahim, surely I can say sincere things. And So naturally I had to do some research to find out what this Oxford place is good at. I studied like a graduate student. And it turns out the area that Oxford has an unassailable lead in is leadership itself. Here are the facts, my friends. Since 1742, there have been 55 British Prime Ministers, 28 came from Oxford. That is double what Cambridge has produced at a mere 14. Oxford, I found out, makes its degrees called PPEs. Basically, it's like a giant factory that makes politicians. I bring examples of their fine leadership because over this glorious period, Oxford's stewardship has undoubtedly taken the British Empire from strength to strength. In the 19th century, the British had a major problem. According to the historical manuscripts I consulted, many of their citizens suffered from insomnia. Why? Their empire was so vast, the sun never set upon it. It was a really ghastly state of affairs. When we needed help, Oxford came to our aid. Oxford set out to solve this problem with astonishing dedication. It took 100 years, 22 Oxford Prime Ministers, but they fixed it in the end. Today, England only has to contend with 4 days of sunshine in a year. For you mathematicians and scientists out there, that's a 99% reduction in global warming. Their citizens can sleep well again. Well done, that's right. But are they done? No. Oxford is just getting started, my friends. Look at Brexit. Architect of the referendum, David Cameron. Oxford, PPE. It's a territorial matter, if you really think about it. So who would be best to get the ball rolling? Theresa May, Oxford, geography. And who would undoubtedly finish the job in a clear and Boris Johnson, Oxford, plastics. That's 3 out of 3. It's called a political hat trick. It's sometimes strange to watch Brexit unfold through the lens of a Malaysian, or Malay rather. I remember reading the news one morning. The UK Independence Party, in one of the articles, was a picture of a press conference, and their initials were emblazoned across the backdrop in repetition, UKIP, UKIP, with no spaces in between. But as a Malay person, I could not help but read the letter P first. Clearly, we have not learned anything about abbreviations from the Cambridge University netball team. I paused. Maybe it's unfair to read it that way. I mean, they're not Malay after all. They're English. They don't know what PUKI means in Malay. Then I read the caption that said that our leader is named Faraj. Now, to be fair, politics in Malaysia is also quite vulgar, sometimes brutal. Look at Khairi Jamaluddin, Oxford PPE. In just 1 year, he went from tall, dark, handsome, suave, Minister of Youth, no less, to looking like a walking spoiler for the Avengers Endgame version of Thor. Get a great man. You lost an election. All their dignity. New government comes in. Tony Kuala, Oxford, PPE. He has a clever plan for us to dodge playing toll. He wants us to drive to work at 4 in the morning and go home at midnight. What he does not know, at CIMB, Nazir Raza called that working half day. Overachiever went to both Cambridge and Oxford. Now here's a part where I throw in a reconciliatory fact. To ensure that I don't alienate half the room, here's my terrible secret. I may have visited Oxford once or twice. I may have interviewed there, and I may not have gotten in. Took a gap year and reapplied to Cambridge. The rest is history. So I assure you that in all likelihood, I have the lowest IQ in this room. Case in point, I attended the last Oxbridge talk with Azman Mokhtar. I kept nodding everything he said, but honestly I didn't get any of it. It was like trying to understand my Scottish roommate in second year over again. What I need are intellectual subtitles. But jokes aside, what I did understand from the last event was a conversation on inequality. In all seriousness, if you manage to attend either university, you've won a golden ticket. I hope that this room has enough humility to admit that it wasn't just our own brains and determination that got us there. In many or most cases, just plain dumb luck of the hard work of our parents. My parents are right over there today. Many of whom were never presented with the opportunities that we had. So on that point, I was very sad to read in newspapers last year that there was a boy named Vitilingam Siva Shanmugam who couldn't get government funding to study medicine at Cambridge. And I was equally delighted to learn afterwards that the YTL Foundation stepped up to the plate and gave him a scholarship. Perhaps this society, if it doesn't already, can help underprivileged people attend Oxbridge by flagging such cases before it's too late. Because surely merit shouldn't be determined based on exam results alone, but the challenges each individual has to go through and overcome. In simple terms, let's try and make sure that no Malaysian is unable to attend Oxbridge because of lack of funds. If they'd rather go to Durham or Nottingham, then they're the one. So that ends my sermon today. I think we're done. I hope you were only mildly offended. Wounds will heal. My dad's a doctor. So I left my glass over there. But Cambridge, would you please raise your glasses to Oxford? Thanks for a millennia of leadership, you know. Thank you everyone and have a nice evening.